Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is Leading Off, brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. It's me, Joey P. Joe Pisapia. With me is the Welsh, and of course, it's you. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had a lovely weekend. I'm sure it was filled with softball games for your kids and baseball games and flag football games and all sorts of other games. Probably some soccer in there as well, some dance recitals. Who knows, as a parent, what you had going on. Or maybe just it was yours. I know Welsh had a very important dance recital coming up for himself. He's been working very hard on all of his plies, but we're back here talking baseball. Oh, look at it. Look at the moves, baby.
See? It's pretty good, right?
Most exciting baseball show that there is. It's Leading Off, and we're here every single Monday through Friday at noon. And look at this, Welsh. Look at that, up to 7.23 YouTube subscribers.
Wow.
Ooh, baby, we blowing up. We big time.
We going. Do you think we get to 8 before the end of the year?
I think I don't think it's impossible. Maybe if I start giving away some more free stuff.
Maybe we
more
could
free stuff flows.
Maybe this. We get a little bit more into the summer. We see where the numbers are at. If they're looking to kind of juicy and possible, we make a call. We dip into that pristine auction, and maybe we could find a little something if we hit to 8K. There's maybe.
That's kind of like the banana stand of Fantasy Pros is the pristine auction. There's always money in the banana stand, and there's always some cool stuff at
the prize closet.
Auction.
Like radio, you'd be like, yeah, let's dip into the prize closet.
Let's get in the prize closet.
Except this would be something really good. This would be something really good, not like a cha-cha.
Hey, look, it's 2 tickets to Toad the Wet Sprocket. Let's go. I like
Toad the Wet.
But anyway, let's talk about what's going on in Major League Baseball, and let's start with the Angels. Ooh, Welsh. They have now dropped 11 straight. The Phillies, on the other hand, have won 4 in a row. We told you when they fired Girardi, keep an eye out in the wagering market, in the DFS market, in the fantasy market for a little bit of a surge with the Phillies. When you fire a manager, sometimes it happens. Well, you got it. But let's talk about the Angels because that's more fun. Taylor Ward to the IL, Joe Adell recalled. Anthony Rendon could begin baseball activity soon.
Maybe.
Could be doing a keto diet. Who knows what he's doing? Mike Trout has been dreadful over the last week. We'll get more onto that later, but the Angels, look, 11-game losing streaks, Welsh. That's a tough thing to come back from.
Yep. It is quite the thing to see. Remember this team, the Ohtani and Trout and all the excitement, Jared Walsh popping off. It is brutal. You know what the problem is, though? I'm falling into this space, not just from the fantasy, but you get into like betting and gambling and stuff. Like, they got to win. Like, it's got to change. Like, so I feel like I'm going to start falling in that space where it's like, I want to bet the Mike Trout total bases because it can't keep going like this. I want to bet the Angels. I want to bet, they're full. You're going to get some probably incredible lines. I haven't looked today what the line is going to be. I want to make some of those bets with the Angels right now because it's so bad. They can't be this. Can they be this bad?
Well, look, here's the sentiment, and there's Mark. Guess the Ohtani MVP chances are slipping. It's Aaron Judge's award to lose. It's June. It's June. Relax. In fact, this is the great time to start buying those shares of Ohtani as they start to click up and up and up because he's still the only guy pitching. This is a bad streak that will be forgotten in August. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be completely forgotten.
I actually agree with both sides of this, like with what Mark says. Like right now, like Judge is kind of like the pack leader because it is early, but it is a great time to buy Ohtani. He cannot win this award with this current production. Like if this continues, you're done. He will not win it. He has to be better. If he's a little bit better, he's going to run away with it because of pitching side, like what you're alluding to. So this is a great time if you're a gambler and you want to throw a couple more bucks because you're not going to get better odds. This probably in June might be maybe June 6th might be the best odds you could get on Ohtani MVP the entire season after 11-game losing streak. Best time.
Yeah. And I want to echo your sentiments about Trout because I think he's even money tonight. Over in the
total bases, 1.5 total bases. It's even or plus 115 somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's an even or plus money in some places depending on when you look. Go over bettingpros.com to find out where you can get the best line. But let me tell you something. I saw it this morning staring me at the face. I went, "Ooh, baby, I think it might be time to start looking at that one." Let's get to some other headlines for the weekend. Your boy Bryson Stott 3-run walk-off homer, stunning the Angels in that game. We also had Harrison Bader lead the Cardinals past the Cubs on Sunday. Good game for him. David Bednar whiffs 2, gets his 10th save. Congratulations to you. Cole Tucker was claimed off waivers from the Pirates by the Diamondbacks. Josh Donaldson lifted the Yankees to their 6th straight win. The Yankees are cruising right now. Montgomery had no decision, but he pitched well. That Yankee rotation, with Cole and Nestor Cortez at the top, you've gotten good starts from Montgomery, good starts from Taillon. Severino looks good. This is this was the thing that really bit the Yankees last year, was the rotation. After Cole, they had nothing in the rotation. The Kluber experiment didn't work. Taillon was still kind of working his way back. Severino was on the shelf. This Yankee rotation is a totally different animal. And right now, the Yankees certainly look like they are a big-time contender for the World Series. We'll see if everybody can stay healthy. But to me, Welsh, the difference has been now everybody in that rotation pitching in. Montgomery was good last year. I want to give him some credit. But still, the 1-2 punch at the top takes a lot of pressure off the guys 3, 4, 5.
Well, I had proposed last week of Luis Severino for the rest of the season being more valuable than Walker Buehler. We had this discussion over on ITL, and it's more and more looking like that place. You want to know what's also pretty gross about this team? They've also got replacements in the wings. They've got prospects, not just far away prospects. They've got two pitchers that could come up today in AAA, 24-year-olds Ken Waldichuk and Hayden Wisniewski, both really, really good pitchers that could jump into a rotation. But what it also says to me is they even have to look at this as like, we are so overperforming what we possibly could have imagined, that in instances like these, you don't take your foot off the gas. You be aggressive. They have got stuff to move throughout their system. Prospect hitters, I mean, their top 6 are essentially prospect hitters. They've got guys from the lower levels to the high. They've got so much. Will Warren, another low player. I would look for them to be aggressive and make a move, whether it's for, a 6th lockdown pitcher, 7th, I suppose you could even throw into there for them, or not. They've just got, it's just not fair. It's not fair with the offense. It's not fair with the pitching, and that they might have more assets than really anybody right now to go make aggressive moves.
It's funny. Good comment here. Again, Mark crushing it today with the comments. We got a lot of people in the comments. If you want to be in the comments and you're watching live, you have to be a subscriber of our Fantasy Pros YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB. But, Mark kind of made an offhanded comment, but it's kind of true. Gary Sanchez is not catching anymore for the Yankees. Make no mistake about that. His lack of defense, bad play calling at times, let me tell you, that is a huge difference for this Yankees rotation. And I think sometimes when we're playing fantasy, we don't pay enough attention to who the catcher is. If you look historically, the Cardinals have always had some good starters there. Yadier Molina's been there for 20 years. Those guys do make a difference. Speaking of the Cardinals, Nolan Gorman, sitting out on Sunday against the Cubs. He's been dealing with that back issue. Clayton Kershaw was strong in the rehab starting. He'll be back with the big club this week, so activate him in all your lineups. Wander Franco has not resumed baseball activities yet, but again, the thought process is hopefully later in the week he will. My guess is a return the following week. You're probably not going to have him this week. Big news, though, in the money market, Welsh. Jordan Alvarez and the Houston Astros agreed to a 6-year, $115 million contract. This broke about 20 minutes after the show on Friday.
Yeah.
And this is a brilliant move by the Astros, a team that doesn't have a lot of draft picks there in that window because of the scandal. But here's the thing. You need Jordan Alvarez to be the guy. You need Kyle Tucker. You need Bregman. If you're going to miss out on that next group, you need to not only have this group hit, literally and figuratively, but also you need to lock them in for long term. And that's what the Astros are doing. So love them or hate them, the Astros are doing good business right now.
Well, they failed to do it with Correa. I know they wanted to. They arguably needed to. Jeremy Pena makes it that they didn't.
They tried to do it with Correa, but I think they were smart in saying, you know what? Look at what Correa hasn't given us in terms of playing time over the years, and look at the bright future of Alvarez as a middle of the order player. I think they made the right call there.
I think hindsight, though, I think you have a budding star in Jeremy Pena. Like Jeremy Pena, a fascinating conversation next year is going to be his fantasy value. Maybe I've even mentioned this before. When you start comparing against like a Corey Seager, like those are legitimate conversations. Like he's in that range. He's the top 12 starting shortstop. But I think it's perspective. Had he not worked out and this team was just churning out left and right, just loser shortstops, I think everyone would go back and be like, how could this team not have opened up their pocketbook to bring in, because you have stars like Jordan Alvarez. But Jordan Alvarez will be the linchpin to that for fantasy owners and dynasty owners and redraft owners and actual Astro fans if they exist. I know one Astro fan, by the way. Just one.
I'm trying to think if I know any Astro fans.
Just one.
It's funny. Jake Seeley, I remember, was threatening to become, if the Mets didn't sell the team, he was threatening to become an Astros fan. He kind of adopted them And then, of course, when the cheating
what a great
happened, that was too
choice.
much for
What
him.
a great, I was about to say, what a great choice. He's just like,
Well,
I'm going to not be the
I know.
Mets. I'm going to go to this awesome stand-up team.
Well, there was before, there was one that they were the lovable underdogs, little Jose Altuve and stuff. But again, everybody steals signs. Enough of that. All right, can we talk about this? Bob Nightingale had a tweet yesterday. The Angels lost their 11th consecutive game, and Mike Trout's hitless streak extends to a career worst 26 ABs. It's not very often, Welsh, that you get a window to buy Mike Trout. This is clearly it. And I would practice everybody else patience if you have Mike Trout. But this is clearly the window. You don't get this very often. I mean, this is an epically bad stretch for Trout. So I guess here's the question. What does it take to get Trout? You could look at the trade chart we have at FantasyPros.com in the MLB section, and you could kind of line that up. But in the baseball sense for you, what do you have to really, if you're going to come correct with a trade offer, right? And I'm using the phrase come correct because I just watched New Jack City over the weekend. But if you're going to do that, right?
Wesley.
You got to really start with some high profile piece as the centerpiece.
Now you're talking dynasty or redraft?
Let's do both. Why should we limit ourselves?
Yeah. I mean, I think here's the problem though, is like Trout up to this streak was fun. I mean, you have built in your mind.
He was great.
April, he was incredible. So it's not like it's been a season long, destruct. It's not like it's been Marcus Semien. You know what I'm saying? Like he has been really good this year. So I don't think you could do it for cheap. All right. So starting in redraft, I just don't know if I feel like it's a pitcher, but I don't feel like it's an underperforming pitcher you can sell. Like, I feel like it's got to be somebody that has played at a really high level. Like, I think someone might be.
Would you say Zach Wheeler? Okay. Wow. Okay. I was going to say, you want to say Zach Wheeler plus the Zach Wheeler and Springer do it? Is that even enough?
Yeah, I think that, see, I mean, you're still talking about it. You're talking about a top 10 fantasy option. I think you've got to go something like a Gossman or Alcantara or even Alek Manoah, and then you get a smaller hitting piece. I don't think, I mean, hey, I could be wrong. Mark brought up Walker Buehler. I just don't think he's been good enough that you could do that in there. But it could be someone buying low on a Walker Buehler and then maybe buying low on a hitter. It looks like something like that. In Dynasty, it's all over the board. This is a great opportunity that I think an out-of-it team could probably be open to getting, 2 high-level prospects and some picks or something like that. I think that's what the acquisition is. My problem is I think Trout was like even on his value coming into this year. Everyone's like, well, he's getting a little bit older. He's not Acuna. Then he popped off and he was at the tippy top. So now what I think has happened is this bad streak has just brought him down to people listening. I don't think the value has really, really dropped. That's an interesting one.
But listening is how deals begin.
What about Jordan Alvarez?
I would rather have Jordan Alvarez. I mean, I know it's hard in roto format. Yeah, I would. I just want the younger player. That's where I'm at with a lot.
We're talking redraft though, right?
Or redraft or dynasty. I still want Alvarez. So that's where I'm at because I have a very high threshold for Alvarez. I think he's like that next big poppy kind of guy. Like I'm just not dealing him. Because I don't think there's an RPV difference there. Here's another one. This is from Michael Barron. The Mets have a .661 winning percentage. It's the best in the National League. At this date, the Mets and the Yankees are the 2 best teams in baseball. How much does the rest of baseball hate New York right now, Welsh?
Baseball parody is cool, huh? It's all in New York. We're all just sitting out here. West Coast, I'm sitting here with my Diamondbacks and my loser Angels and all these bad teams. Yep, it's fun.
This one also from Preston Wilson, who, by the way, is a huge fan of Fantasy Pros, follows me on Twitter, and we've actually DM'd and talked before. Good old Preston Wilson. I remember Preston. Heck of a player in his day.
Yeah, man.
But Preston Wilson decided, and I'm very happy about this. So Tampa Bay, some of the players refused to wear the Gay Pride logo on their uniforms this weekend. And Preston Wilson decided he was going to go, say his piece about this. And I thought this was very well orchestrated by him. He said, there's a special ignorance in sports on this topic. Every person in Major League Baseball has at some point played with a homosexual teammate. They have all cheered for their success on the field. They have all felt their pain when they struggled. They just didn't know that player necessarily was LGBTQ. So here, I mean, to me, this is literally the least you can do. I don't care, like, if it makes you uncomfortable, but literally the least you could do is just acknowledge it. Like, that's all you're asking, is like, acknowledge that,
It's not it's not a
that
big
you have
deal.
gay teammates, that you have gay front office workers, that like that it's something that should not be in the shadows. It's something that should not be hidden anymore. It's something that should be again, something that collectively, at the very least you can do. You don't have to support anything. This is just acknowledgement. And I thought Preston Wilson did a nice job there, very much so. What did you
Yeah, it
think
was
there?
interesting too because I read the article like right when it dropped, and the article an article made it seem like that the Rays gave a choice, by the way, in this, that they gave a choice, and those specific players like Jeffrey Springs and them decided to take the patch off. Not that it was like they were blah blah blah, but then it turned into a messy situation because it's like it's just an acknowledgement on the uniform to go that far to take, whether it was ripped off or whether they had a choice and they took it off when other players were doing it. It's kind of an old boy move. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, and it's not a lifestyle choice. You don't wake up and go, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go do that. Like, this is not a political show. I'm just saying, like, literally, I am positive that I have worked here and other places, and I came from the world of the theater, where once again, it is certainly more present or openly present. And I just think this is, again, it's not a matter of choice. It's a matter of, hey, teams do a lot of different things, supporting a lot of different causes and a lot of different acknowledgments. This is an acknowledgement. So good on Preston Wilson doing that. And that's enough about that. Let's do some trivia here. We were talking a little before about the closer for the Orioles. So who was the last Oriole to be named American League Rookie of the Year? If you've got an answer for that trivia question, go ahead, drop it in the chat here.
Is it recent? Is it recent?
It is not recent, but it is in my lifetime. I believe in your lifetime as well. So there you go.
That opens
recent.
it up a little bit. All right.
It is a name that if you collected baseball cards, you certainly should know. I would tell you this one. He definitely had some cards that were memorable, I would say. At least for my youth, they were. Some rated rookie had to be in there, I'm pretty sure.
Was it
right.
something like this? Maybe
was it
showing the bat?
No, it wasn't that dude.
Oh,
okay. It wasn't the knob of the bat. It wasn't the knob of the bat. And it wasn't Eddie Murray either. Good guess there. All right. Let's go next. For the this day in baseball history, in 1990, Cecil Fielder belts 3 home runs in a game. As Detroit beats the Indians 6-4, Fielder becomes the 4th American League player to have 2 3-homer games in the same season, Welsh. In the same season. So look at this. I think people forget when Cecil Fielder went away he left Toronto, went away, came back for the Tigers. I think people forget in 1990 what a big deal it was that Cecil Fielder came in and hit, 51 home runs, I think, that year, if memory serves. Nobody was hitting 50 home runs back then. And then, of course, we had the steroid era and things kind of exploded. Yeah. But let me tell you, man, that was madness. That was crazy. And now, like, we think of it and we go, oh, it wasn't a big deal. At the time, he really captured everybody in terms of the consciousness of power again, because we had 40-40 guys pop, like Jose Canseco had the 40-40 year. So that was something, but 50 was not something that people were doing. And he really, one of the first like big power hitting guys of the 90s that I think kind of gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. Welsh.
My favorite Cecil Fielder stat is Cecil Fielder and Prince Fielder, his son, both ended their careers with 319 home runs apiece. That's my favorite Cecil Fielder thing. They both. That's wild. That's a wild thing. Both players finishing with 319 homers to end out a career. Cecil Fielder, wild.
All right, let's continue on with the stat heroes. Actually, before we do, I'll give you the answer to the trivia question, because I don't know if anyone's going to get this. The answer was reliever Greg Olson in 1989.
No one was getting
Greg Olson, who had a little crappy mustache. He had like a mess. There it is. Oh, JP got it. Look at it, JP.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and if you remember,
tight end from the Panthers.
89, that Greg Olson. But it was Greg Olson who was the answer to the trivia question there. So good on them. All right, let's go to the next bit here, which is, of course, the stat heroes of the weekend. Jose Barrios, nice turnaround. And I saw somebody, I don't remember who it was. They tweeted, hey, everybody, I'm benching Jose Barrios today. Make sure you get him in all your lineups. And I applauded that person. I liked the tweet. It was amazing. I can't remember.
Oh, you know what? I actually saw a friend, Rob Silver, who does a couple different shows and whatnot. He had said he went on radio. He went on radio that day and he told people that they can all but cut him in every format. And then he goes out and strikes out 13. And Rob's like, the moral of the story is don't listen to me. And that's how I feel about the next guy, by the way. But you get that feeling all the time where you're just like, all right, I'm out. I'm making the commitment. And then they go off and they go bonkers. And that's what he did.
Yeah. It was 13 strikeouts later for Jose Barrios. Shane Bieber, 11 strikeouts of his own. Friday night, that was our dude. If you recall, we said, let go with Shane Bieber. It's a good matchup. Mackenzie Gore continues to be awesome. Welsh, no earned runs, 6 innings. That's got to stick in your craw. 10 strikeouts. How you feeling about that Mackenzie Gore situation?
It's the weirdest one for me personally, because no one was a bigger Mackenzie Gore fan than me. If I can Joe Pisapia for a minute, no one was bigger than me in the rookie year. I would chat with his mom. I did video for them for his first starts. I was all in as number one, and I went all out because I've never seen a pitcher go from bad to from good to how bad he turned last year in rookie ball. Team didn't know what the hell they were doing. I'm like, he's a reliever. There's no chance. Guy was 17-year-old players in rookie ball last year. Anytime he would hit over 95, we're crushing balls on him in rookie ball, and he's completely retransformed. He looks incredible right now. Strikeouts, people, they can't get hits. The pitches don't even look that great. He's deceiving. He's consistent. He looks like a completely different person. So I have to eat crow in I thought he was going to be a reliever take, but I've always loved the guy. So I love seeing him succeed.
No,
he was
and
number
that's
one
so
starting
weird,
pitcher for a long time.
Dude, we've been doing shows together for almost a decade, and I remember at times in the prospect process about Gore, your thoughts on him. But I understand why you started to get a little concerned, and I think it was warranted. But look, sometimes this happens, and then this is great that he's doing this, and it's great for the Padres because it gives them so much depth right now in that rotation. I mean, that rotation is unbelievable. Severino, 10 Ks for him in 7 innings. Aaron Ashby threw a pitch that I've
that two-seamer. You're talking about that frisbee two-seamer that went.
Yes, I am. I that was like one of those things you see in old school Nintendo games where if you hit the right thing the right way, you can make the pitch kind of dance around. I don't know.
You know what that was?
Like baseball stars.
That was I don't know if you get them. That was being on Instagram, having that targeted ad about this is an awesome new wiffle ball game with these. They have that block strike zone and those kids throw those pitches and the ball's like, vroom, 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 vroom. That's what happened in real life in a baseball game. That was wild,
dude. It was so crazy. We had Garrett Cole with a 9K performance, no earned. Josiah Gray, 9Ks. Thank goodness something good is happening down there in Washington. Joe Musgrove continues to add to his Cy Young resume. 8 strong innings, 6 Ks. Eflin was good. 8 strong scoreless innings for him. Max Fried, 8 scoreless innings. Zach Davies, 7 2/3, 6 Ks scoreless. And Nick Pivetta has a 1.98 ERA over his last 8 starts, 7 Ks. 7 innings, 0 earned in his start earlier this week. So Pavetta's on a nice little run. He might be an interesting, you pull him away onto a contending team. I just wonder. 3-run home run club this weekend. We had, or 3 home run club, I should say, not 3-run. Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, unfortunately. Bryce Harper for mayor. Lane Thomas also, which helped nobody. And Eugenio Suarez. Greatest hitter of all time.
About the 2 home run club.
Home runs.
I had Vlad for the 2 home run club.
Yeah. But how about this? And I had Aaron Judge over the weekend. So, but here, look at this. 556 batting average over the weekend for Eugenio Suarez and a 1949 OPS.
He really is more valuable than Jose Ramirez. Thank you, Yahoo. Really thank you, Mike Mayer. Thank you guys for bringing this to our attention. Eugenio Suarez, more valuable. I want Mike to pull up those stats right now and see how big of a discrepancy there is between Eugenio Suarez and Jose Ramirez. Now, it's got to be a whole player. That's huge. It's a huge weekend. That's 1,200 points for him.
It's madness, dude. Jake Cronenworth sighting, 2 home runs for him. It'd be great if he started hitting. God, the Padres need somebody to help Machado. Sal Perez, 2 home runs. Brendan Donovan, Yordan Alvarez. Nelson Cruz, 7 for 13 with a homer. Is it time to start kicking the tires on Nelson Cruz? Is he trying to hit his way back to Tampa?
I think so. Yeah, I know exactly. So the team he's got to make that late run. He's the most prime player to move off to a team that needs some bats to be awake. So yeah, I mean, I'm always kind of pseudo into Nelson Cruz. So yes.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. Stat zeros. Marcus Stroman, well, it was good while it lasted. 4 innings, 9 earned runs for him. Eliezer Hernandez, 8 earned runs. Max Meyer can't get healthy fast enough. Paul Blackburn, oh yes. Oh, finally. It's June 6th. And Mike Mayer, who's so happy that he's like, look at this. Look what I got to put in these stat zeros. Look at your boy, your precious Paul Blackburn. Whatever. One bad start, but he's been very good. Logan Webb, 4 earned runs. Not the best start for him, over 4 2/3. Kikuchi wasn't great either. Ryan Yarborough was terrible, 6 earned. Bad start for Corbin Burns, 3 and 2/3 of an inning, 5 earned runs from him. The Brewers are slumping. The Cardinals are getting close right now. Also, Sandy Alcantara, Nestor Cortez. Remember we talked about 8-1 and all that stuff? Like those guys were moving. Alcantara now is right in the 2 spot for the Cy Young in the National League.
No doubt about it.
Now at like 4.5 in some spots. So hope you got in at 8-1 on Friday. Like we told you, Walker Buehler, 5 earned runs. What is going on with Walker Buehler? That was a guy I thought was going to contend for a Cy Young. It's been terrible.
I did too. Well, Dodger team too has been pretty atrocious. They got swept by the Pirates. Diamondbacks took games. Yeah, I like that pun. Walker Buehler is he is like the poster child for how the Dodgers have really been playing right now. Some good, some atrocious. And I think overall value, like I said, we had it was Frank Stanfield from CBS that came on, and we were talking about Severino versus Buehler, and it was like, well, Frank even admitted over the weekend, oh, it's definitely Buehler, and then after the Severino start, he goes, this question was asked. This actually might be Severino with how good he is, and it's not even so much about Severino's success as it is Walker Buehler's coming down to earth. But Julio Urias, same thing. Same exact thing. I think his value has been plummeting with the strikeouts and the success. I don't know what's going on as far as pitchers go, but it seems to be systemic around all of them.
Mr. Buster loving life right now. He says he's loving holding on to Shane McClanahan and Sandy Alcantara in his home league right now. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You should be loving life. Good job. All right, some of the hitters that were bad. Nolan Gorman, 2 for 15. Did it a home run, but he struck out 8 times. But this is Gorman. He's also dealing with that back injury, so let's not go crazy. Brandon Marsh has been terrible. You can drop him. Trevor Larnach. I still think Trevor Larnach long-term is a good piece. I would not go dropping him.
Alex Kirilloff is absolutely balling in AAA, and he will be up very shortly. So just watch out for that and pick him up.
Jazz Chisholm 0 for 10, 5 strikeouts over the weekend, and Ty France finally hit a cold spell, 1 for 12. I got 2 home runs from Judge, so I think I'm up to 14 now. So I'm getting close to that leaderboard. Welsh got 2 from Vladdy, and of course, unfortunately, Mike Mayer got 3 over the weekend. So let's take a look at the board after the weekend of the home run totals. Yeah, there they go.
Gross.
Oh, look at this.
Look at
High Cubby, 2016 tied for the lead with DeBlum. Look at that, tied at 20. Night King in the north all the way down to 18. He's gone stone cold. Look at that, 18 down there. Adel Gadil, my buddy Adel from our Discord chat, up there as well. So, and Larry C up there with 18. The Chasers up there with 19. But look, this is the most depressing thing. Mike Mayer at 17.
I mean, we got to give him credit. We got to give Mike credit. He may hate children being happy. He may want balls to be stolen from 6-year-olds. He wanted that kid in the Philly to just keep crying, and unfortunately Bryson Stott took it away. But you know what? His home run calls have been good. If you're at 14, I think I'm at 11, I don't know. Mike would have to tell me 11 or 12 or something like that. We're within grasp, or we're just a little too far away, and Mike is not. He's made some good calls.
All right, don't say any more nice things about him. Let's instead move on to the betting pros and BetMGM, the king of sports books. All you got to do right now is bet $10 to win $200 when you sign up today using the promo code leading off. It's one word, leading off. Download the BetMGM app, or you can go to betmgm.com, bet responsibly, and bet with the promo code leading off. Again, $10 wins you $200. That's free money. We like free money here. Let's go to Christian Javier. Tonight, actually, this one's on DK. 5.5 is the K prop against Seattle. I think he's going to smoke this. FantasyPros has him at 7.5 almost in the Ks. It's plus 130. This is my favorite bet of the night. Robbie Ray on FanDuel, 5.5 Ks. 7 is the projection for him. That's minus 112. Jordan Alvarez, total bases, plus 120 over on DK. The juice is plus 120 there. Like I said, 1.5 is the number. And John Gray at Unibet. It's worth signing up at Unibet just to get this 4.5 on the K prop on John Gray. I think he goes over. He had 12 in the last one. Cleveland's definitely got some holes in that lineup. And Welsh, how about you? What are you looking at tonight in terms of
Unibet? Sounds like something that would be on channel 22, on whatever dial. It would be like, I'm gonna go watch some of Unibet.
Welcome to Unibet.
This is Unibet.
You make one bet a day. That's what you do.
Exactly. And they just repeat it like over and over. It's like infomercial. I don't love a lot of today currently at the beginning of the week. I'm the ones you had. I'm interested in Javier. I'm interested in Gray. I just don't like Gray because he's up on Cleveland. Cleveland just doesn't want to strike out, but it's a low number and he's been really successful. The only one that I felt relatively confident about is Hunter Green strikeouts. And it's a big number. It's at 6.5, which you don't necessarily love to see any type of big number like that, but it's against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Arizona Diamondbacks second worst strikeouts in all of baseball. Plus Hunter Green just struck out 8. That slider has been really phenomenal. So I kind of like that one. And on the total base front, man, I think I really would do the Mike Trout total base one right now, almost simply out of stubbornness. He needs one double, one homer, one breakout. Boston, it's up against Boston. I think that would be a bet. But there's a lot of I'll just tell you, a lot of the personal props I don't love. The other one I was looking for, I don't see hits anywhere. If I could find singular hit, just one hit, and it was 0.5 for Mike Trout, I would take it in a heartbeat today, but it'll be all juiced up. I don't see a lot of what I love currently, at least in early morning, but Hunter Green would be my personal bet.
All right, real quick, DFS, kind of simple tonight. Look on DraftKings. In the night slate, you got John Gray at 6.5, 6.6. Look, just like last time I told you, he's a good secondary arm. Just keep pounding the table. Hope you get some strikeouts as a secondary arm. Then you got to pick a side here. Christian Javier at 9.1, Robbie Ray at 9.5, or you go to the pick a side between Blake Snell and Carlos Carrasco. I personally would take the Carrasco side or the Javier side and then pair it with John Gray. If you want to be Oppo in tournaments, Oppo would mean going with Robbie Ray and Blake Snell, but Christian Javier at home, I think there's a better pathway there for the win. Over on FanDuel, John Gray's 8.1, Hunter Green is 7.3. And again, you just got to pick a side. I'll go with the home team and Christian Javier at 9K. And I think that's the way I would go with that Houston lineup. The game stacks tonight, looking at the Mets, the Red Sox, the Reds, and Toronto. Some lineup builders for you. JD Davis at 2.7 on DK. Marcana at 2.9. Cheap guys in the Mets lineup. If we have bad Blake Snell tonight, which is possible, get some of those righty bats in there. Yeah. Gurriel at 2.9. Cole Calhoun at 2.9 on FanDuel. Davis is 2.3. Khan is 2.7. Eduardo Escobar 2.7. Again, that Mets offense has been very good. And Jeremy Pena 2.8. And then home run calls for the night. I'm going to take Welsh's guy from the weekend, Vladdy Jr. Welsh, who are you going with tonight for the home run call?
I'm going to go to that Boston Angels game. I'm going to go with JD Martinez with some hits. Big fly. Give me big fly.
Now, Wonky Penguin has made a little home run call of her own, basically. Catchers count as 2 today. I don't know if it's National Catcher Day or what's going on.
Oh, is that? Well, that might change my thought. Is that real?
But if you want to get catchers count double today, because we're acknowledging the men behind the dish. So Mike Mayer, of course, is trying to take advantage of that and taking Alejandro Kirk. So Wonky
I'm going to switch. I'm going to switch
out there. You're going to switch it up?
All right. If it's double, I'm going with Salvi Perez.
Salvi Perez for Welsh. I'm going to just keep it simple with Vlad. I'm going to not be tempted with the double dip, but I like this. I think we're going to start doing some theme days.
I need it. I've got 12. I'm behind you. I'm way behind Mike. I've got to get on the board. And wait, here's a question. If Salvi hits 2, does that mean I get 4?
It does. Yes, that's how math works.
Let's go. So, okay, well, I'm just making sure the math. Geez, sorry there, pal.
All right, I want to remind everybody, if you want to join us live or just hang out and watch us over here on the YouTube channel when you can at your leisure, you can at Fantasy Pros MLB. Subscribe to our channel. We're trying to hit 8K. We are on that pathway to greatness, and we want you to be on that path with us. Don't forget, if you're going to make wagers today, do it at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. Use that promo code leading off and hang out with us over at FantasyPros.com. Join our Discord, and we're giving away free stuff if you win the month of June in the home run contest, if you have the most home run calls. So even if you think you're behind, you just want to play for a month, join our Discord. All you got to do is be a premium subscriber at FantasyPros.com. Join our Discord for free, but to make home run calls, you got to be with the cool kids and be a big-time Fantasy Pros person. So that'll do it for us, but the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids.